All right, so why don't you introduce yourself and let us know what you're doing in this production?
Hi, I'm Jim Clark. I am the producer and board president for Brief Cameo Productions, and I will be directing Drowsy Chaperone in concert.
Amazing. Now, would you like to tell us a little bit more about what's going to go into directing and the other hats that you wear in this production?
Sure. So, directing's the easy part. Because I just gather a group of very talented people and I say, hey, come do the thing I hired you to do. And then I will just shape it as we go along. That's 75% of it. You have to think about, okay, where are people going to stand? Where's standing, sitting? How are we doing choreography? Which is a new thing for us this year. We've never had a choreographer before.
Very exciting.
So, we're building up in the world. And if anyone's ever seen any of the stuff that I choreographed, that will be obvious that we've never had a choreographer before. I'm really good at this.
You know what? That's like 50% of it in musical theater, so you're fine. You're already halfway there.
We are at the Centerbrook Meeting House, which is a much smaller venue than our usual home. Though we did masterclass there last year, which is perfect for that piece. But Playhouse, the Everton Playhouse is undergoing some renovations, and if anyone who's ever redone their kitchen knows, oh yeah, it's going to take 5 days, and then 6 weeks later, you're still wondering where your stove went.
I was going to say 6 weeks later, you're still trying to find where you left your coffee cup, and at that point, you really need your coffee cup, so that's not a good problem to have. And it's wonderful, by the way, that you guys have that you as a company have two really solid options for your performances. That's really key.
So we are very lucky that we have a great relationship with the Playhouse.
Yes, amazing little theater.
Yes, and they are so supportive of us, and they let us take over the space for a week once a year. Like, we use the housing, we use the rehearsal space, we use the theater, we use everything.
How about some history with the show? Do you have any prior experience with the Drowsy Chaperone?
So I saw the show on Broadway when it opened, and it was the funniest thing I had seen in years. Like, to the point of, I was laughing so hard, the woman next to me at some point turned to me and went, it's not that funny. It's like, first off, don't talk to me. Secondly, yes, it is. You clearly were not a 13-year-old listening to the 3 different versions of Les Mis that you had to pick out the differences.
No, not everyone has that experience.
Because, on the British album, that piece was orchestrated with an oboe, but on the Broadway album, it was a synth.
I love it.
That was me.
Yeah, I love it.
Still is me. But yeah, no, I thought it was just one of the most hysterical things I'd ever seen. And it immediately went to the, well, I want to do that show someday. Yeah. So I was like, that is on the list of shows that I want to spend some time digging through, and because, as we said, yes, it's silly, it's funny, it's homage to the things we love. But I knew that if I had that deep a reaction to it, that there was more in there.
Absolutely.
So it's like, okay, I want to spend some time digging in there and finding out, like, what else is there in this.
And now, in your preparation process, have you started to discover those things, or do you feel like that's something that's going to come along more so when you're actually working with the actors on the stage?
So I have my sort of list of, okay, these are the things that I want to talk about with actors now that I've dug a little bit. But I always want to know what an actor thinks, because the character's living in them. They, like, this other being is speaking through them, so they're gonna know better than I will.
I love that. Now, how does the show fit with what you hope the company will become, what it already is? How do you feel like it fits with Brief Cameo Productions?
The mission statement at Brief Cameo is we do, underperformed and sort of unrecognized pieces of musical theater. So we try to pick shows that probably would not be able to do a full 3-week run somewhere. And, it's our 2025 is our 5th anniversary. And when we were picking what the show was going to be, with the knowledge that we weren't sure which space we were going to be in yet, we had a whole list of things that we were going through. And Alan turned to me and went, so I had this idea. Brian Quinn as man in chair. And I went, okay, we're done. Yep, that's what we're doing. So, I mean, because Drowsy Chaperone is a celebration of loving musical theater. And that's what we do as a company.
What else, besides just giving the community, both with the people that you bring together on stage and the people who are going to come see the show, what are you most excited about putting this production together?
This particular production, I haven't directed in a while. So I'm very excited about doing that. And I can talk about this because we put it on our social media stuff. We start rehearsals and such the day after my wedding, which is insane, but it's fine.
Yeah, you're a little crazy for that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
There were logistical reasons that it made sense.
Sure.
Sorry. So it's a show about a wedding the week after my wedding. And we are, for the wedding, going very small. It's just our immediate family. Well, no. If we were going big, the people I would be inviting to my wedding are going to be part of the show. So we're extending the wedding celebration for a week in a way.
That's wonderful. I love that.
And I am especially looking forward to this particular group of people sharing the show with audiences, because I'm very much of the mindset that every time you do a show, even though you're doing the same text, it's a different show because of who you've brought in to do it. This group of people doing Drowsy Chaperone in February of 2025 is going to be a very different production of Drowsy Chaperone than if in September of 2025 we did it with the same group of people, but one person was different.
Yep.
I always love finding out, okay, what alchemy is this group of people going to produce to create whatever it is